Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Angel B. Paris, and today I'm going to discuss the organs of the respiratory system and their functions. So what is respiratory system? It states here that respiratory system is the network of organs and tissues that help you breathe. It includes your airways, lungs, and blood vessels. The muscles that power your lungs are also part of the respiratory system. These parts work together to move oxygen throughout the body and clean out waste gases like carbon dioxide. So there are fundamental functions of the respiratory system. First one is the oxygen supplier. The job of the respiratory system is to keep the body constantly supplied with oxygen and also elimination of carbon dioxide. And also the respiratory system organs oversee the gas exchanges that occur between the blood and the external environment. And also respiratory system is the passageways that allow air to reach the lungs and purify, humidify, and warm incoming air. So let's proceed to the organs of the respiratory system. The first one is the nose. The nose is the only part of the respiratory system that is visible externally and is the route for air entry into the respiratory system. Air is drawn in via the nostrils or external nares and enters the large nasal cavity, which is divided into two by the nasal septum. The nasal cavity is partitioned from the oral cavity directly below it by the palate. Like the rest of the respiratory tract, the nose is lined with mucosal epithelium containing glands that secrete a thick, sticky mucus that helps to moisture the tract. Just below the surface of the epithelium is a rich network of blood vessels that warm the nasal cavities. Nosebleeds are fairly common because the blood vessels are so superficial. Another organ is the larynx, the area of the throat containing the vocal cords and used for breathing, swallowing, and talking, also called voice box. Your larynx has three main functions in your body: breathing, creating vocal sounds, and preventing food and other particles from getting into your trachea, lungs, and the rest of your respiratory system. Aside from larynx, we have pharynx. It is the part of the throat behind the mouth and nasal cavity, and above the esophagus and trachea, the tubes going down to the stomach and the lungs. It is found in vertebrates and invertebrates, though its structure varies across species. It carries air, food, and fluid down from the nose and mouth. The pharynx is the site of common illnesses, including sore throat and tonsillitis. The pharynx moves food from the mouth to the esophagus. It also moves air from the nasal and oral cavities to the larynx. It is also used in human speech, as pharyngeal consonants are articulated here, and it acts as a resonating chamber during phonation. Another organ is the trachea. It is the long tube that connects your larynx or voice box to your bronchi. Your bronchi send air to your lungs. Your trachea is a key part of your respiratory system, and the trachea is made of rings of cartilage. It is lined with cells that produce mucus. Your trachea's main functions is to carry air in and out of your lungs because it's a stiff, flexible tube and it provides a reliable pathway for oxygen to enter your body. Your trachea works with the rest of your respiratory system to help you breathe. When you inhale, air moves from your nose and mouth into your trachea, and from your trachea into your left and right bronchi, and through your bronchi and into bronchus and your lungs, and into small sacs in your lungs called alveoli, where your body exchanges oxygen for carbon dioxide. And we have the bronchi, the large airways. The bronchi are two large tubes that carry air from your windpipe to your lungs. You have a left and right main bronchus in each lung. After the main bronchi, these tubes branch out into segments that look like tree branches. Many respiratory conditions such as asthma or bronchitis can affect your bronchi. Your bronchi carry to and from your lungs. The bronchi also help moisturize the air you breathe and screen out foreign particles. Your airways are lined with cells that create mucus. And we have the bronchus, or small airways, are air passages inside the lungs that branch off like three limbs from the bronchi. The two main air passages into which air flows from the trachea or windpipe after being inhaled through the nose or mouth. The bronchus deliver air to tiny sacs called alveoli, where oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged. The functions of the bronchus is to deliver air to a diffuse network of around 300 million alveoli in the lungs. As you inhale, oxygenated air is pulled into the bronchus. Carbon dioxide collected by the alveoli is expelled from the lungs as you exhale. And we have the lungs. It brings fresh oxygen into your body. They remove the carbon dioxide and other waste gases that your body doesn't need. To breathe and inhale, you use the muscles of your rib cage, especially the major muscles, the diaphragm. Your diaphragm tightens and flattens, allowing you to suck air into your lungs. The lung is divided into right lung and left lung. The right lung is wide and short, whereas the left lung is narrow and long. The right lung has a cardiac impressions and the left lung is very close to the heart. The common function of the lungs during respiration is to inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. And also we have the alveoli organ. The alveoli are where the lungs and the blood exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide during the process of breathing in and breathing out. Oxygen breathed in from the air passes through the alveoli and into the blood and travels to the tissues throughout the body. And also it is the end point of the respiratory system. The respiratory process starts when you inhale air into your mouth or nose. The air travels down the trachea, also called the windpipe. Then the air travels through airways called the bronchi and into the lungs. From there, the air is directed through smaller and smaller passages called bronchus. The air moves through a tiny duct called the alveolar duct and finally enters an individual alveolus. And lastly, we have the diaphragm. It is located below the lungs, is the major muscle of respiration. It is a large, dome-shaped muscle that contracts rhythmically and continually and most of the time involuntarily. Upon inhalation, the diaphragm contracts and flattens and the chest cavity enlarges. And that would be all. Thank you for listening. God bless.